trust. Wish we had more time to spare. Want you around me like air. Can't get my feelings in. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, YouTube? It's your girl, the goddess in the back. Ooh, with another one. Yeah. Yes, that is hair under my arms. I don't care. It's natural. It's just hair. I shave when I want to shave. I don't feel like shaving. So I'm going to go out with hair under my arms. Yes. And I don't care. Anyways, today's video is going to be about the 7 chakras. And how you know how to identify when you have blockages there. And how to clear those blockages. Based on my experience and a little bit of research that I've done. Because it matched up and aligned with what I was feeling. So, before we get into the video though, I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You hear me? Because I don't have no cosign. I don't have no famous, no already popular, already famous baby daddy. I ain't trying to steal people's content. I ain't trying to follow everybody else's content. I make these videos because this is what the spirit called me to do, what my ancestors called me to do and told me to do, because my experience is something that needs to be shared. That's what they tell me. That's what the spirit tell me. That's what the Most High tells me, and that's what my ancestors tell me. Ho. See, I had to make it known because of the hoes. The hoes, they learn their lesson, but guess what? They about to. Anyways, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first chakra we're going to talk about is the root chakra. The root chakra is located at the base of the spine. It is associated with instinct, security, survival, and also basic human potentiality. It is physically linked to our circulatory and reproductive systems and the legs, pelvic, genitals, and feet. When out of balance, you may feel tired, overly cautious, afraid of change, and cold from weak circulation. It responds to the color red and also affects sexuality, lust, and obsession. Physically, it governs sexuality. Mentally, it governs stability. Emotionally, it governs sensuality. And spiritually, it governs the sense of security. So, just as I read at the beginning, at the, I guess the intro of this, I don't know what you call that, segment. I don't know. I'm just learning how to do this YouTube stuff, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing. But anyways, so what I felt was, I felt like poor circulation. I did, like sitting down for too long, my legs would go numb, my foot would go numb, sitting a certain way. I felt when I would walk or, do anything physical where I had to move my legs and run or walk, I would feel extremely worn out, extremely tired, because I couldn't, because it just feels like my legs were just so it just feels like weighed down, like heavy. And I'm like, dang, I'm tired already. And I'm like, I used to be able to last longer. When I was going to the gym, I used to be able to lift. Like leg day used to be my favorite day. I used to be lifting. And I don't know how many pounds, look, a guy was doing that for me, guys. I don't know how many pounds it was, but I would be able to lift like 225 pounds on each side, each bar. I'll be able to lift that. And then like once I started feeling like these pains and like feeling that stuff in my legs and feet, I wasn't able to lift nothing. Like my legs were super weak. And they was like, dang, you can't even lift this. Dude was like, damn. When I started going to the gym in Houston, dude was like, dang, you can't even lift this. And I was like, bro, I don't know. Like I used to be able to lift so much. I should be more. I should have been able to been working my way up to heavier weight. You know what I mean? So I knew something was wrong. I'm like, dang, why my legs feel so weak and so tired so quickly? Like I didn't have no stamina. Then you know, as I said at the beginning, in the little intro of the segment, it says it's linked to poor your circulation, the circulatory system, right? I remember not being able to breathe. Like, I remember, like, me and my nephew, we was at the water park, and you know, walking up the stairs. Like, I'm like, dang, like I'm running out of breath. I felt like I was, like my circulation was being cut off. Like I was like taking deep breaths. It was crazy. It was crazy. I think that's your circulatory. Or maybe that's respiration. Okay.
I meant respiratory, guys. Respiratory.
Okay, so maybe that's the wrong chakra, but I remember getting like extremely tired walking up them stairs, and my nephew was just walking and running, going fast. I'm like, gosh, slow down. But I usually would be able to keep up with him, you know. But yeah, so that was another thing. What else I noticed was like I would feel like aches and pains. So when in my calves and in my pelvic area, sitting down too long, my leg would go numb, my foot would go numb, or not even too long, just like for a little while, and my leg and my foot would go numb. It's things that I had never experienced prior. You know what I'm saying? Wearing heels, you know, I felt like I was limping. Like I had to limp at one point. That was the last time I wore heels since I've been having this blockage, that blockage or whatever. And when my first time going to get a massage, even the massage therapist was like, you got a lot of tension in your calves and in your feet and in your pelvic. He called it lower back, but in your lower back area, which is the pelvic. Another thing I experienced, this might be TMI. But this is actually where I felt like it felt like a knot, like something, just a ball or something just in that bit, like blocking me from from like the anus, from like, coming, y'all know the number 2, coming out. And it wasn't that I was constipated, because it wasn't hard. Like it wasn't hard. It was just like, it felt like I was being, like it was a knot blocking it. So it would come out, but it would come out like, y'all, it's nasty, but I have to tell y'all. But it would be just like something was blocking it, and I would just have to like push so hard for the crap to come out. You know what I mean? Like, it was wild, okay? It was wild. And I know it's not from constipation, because I would feel, when I would push, I would feel like it felt like a knot, like something there, but it wasn't. I don't know how to explain it, but that's how it was, right? So, and then mentally, I never felt safe. Like I always felt afraid. It was always like a lot of fear that I was feeling, you know. And I talked about that in my Do You Believe in Magic video part 2. So go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and share, or watch that one right after you watch this one, okay? If you haven't already. But yeah, you know, and just as I explained in the intro, that it's linked to your security, to feeling secure in your emotions. So my emotions, I never felt secure in my emotions. I also had a lot of money issues, because the hoes was mad, because the hoes did not want me to make no money. Watch my Do You Believe in Magic video part 1 and 2. I told y'all how I got these blockages, and that was the way that I got these blockages. My blockages didn't come from trauma or indoctrination about having a lot of money, because having a lot of money is something that I always wanted. I always strive to get. You know what I'm saying? But when you have those blockages being sent, it's being sent to these chakras, and these chakras are kind of like linked to the subconscious. The entities that are being sent to attach to latch on to your energy, to block your chakra system, your chakra centers. It causes you to have it causes like an underlying thoughts, like in your subconscious. All right, so boom, that's the root chakra. So let's go to the sacral chakra.
The sacral chakra is located in the sacrum and is considered to correspond to the testes or ovaries that produce the various sex hormones involved in the reproductive cycle. It is also considered to be related to, more generally, the genitourinary system and the adrenals. The key issues involving the sacral chakra are relationships, violence, addictions, basic emotional needs, and pleasure. Physically, it governs reproduction. Mentally, it governs creativity. Emotionally, it governs joy. And spiritually, it governs enthusiasm. When off balance, you may experience emotional overreactions, codependency, addictive behaviors, insatiable desires, fear of happiness or pleasure, excessive guilt or shame, low libido, lack of creativity, and depression.
All right. So the sacral chakra, what I experienced, I talked about this in Do You Believe in Magic video part 2. Go watch it if you haven't. It felt like something was on it. Like I said, it felt like something was on it, something was in it, and I experienced a lot of, like I said, I used to bleed. Like, and this had never happened prior to this. Prior to feeling like numb and not being able to feel any pleasure, not being able to self-lubricate and things like that, because I already talked about that in the video. Y'all know what happened. Go watch it if you haven't. Do You Believe in Magic part 2? Because the hoes be hating. Anyways, besides all of that, I've experienced, my period being abnormal, which is something that I never experienced before. And since I've been having my period, my period usually comes down on the same day of every single month. That's how regular my period was. And then for out of the blue, for it to just become irregular and feeling bloated and feeling like something was stuck in there. Again, it felt like another knot. Like it felt like a knot. And it felt like something was blocking it. Something was blocking it from energy, from circulating like it's supposed to, or working how it's supposed to work. You know what I mean? Circulating the way that it's supposed to circulate, right? So I would bleed for a little bit. Drops would come out, but I would feel so uncomfortable. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just felt so weird. It felt so weird in here, bloated. I just felt bloated all the time, like not just during my period, but all the time. And what else did I experience? Lack of creativity. Because like I said in the intro, it's linked to creativity. So I had lacked creativity, which is something that I am creativity. You know what I mean? And lacking that was just terrible. It was like writer's block, and just like an artistic block is what I felt like. Usually when I would be able to write these songs, it would flow out of me, flow. Then it started to just be like, well, I gotta stop. I'm gonna stop and start tomorrow. I'm gonna stop. So it was taking me like months just to finish one song. I was like, oh no, child. I can't handle this. Anyways, so that was what I experienced with my sacral a blockage in my sacral chakra. All right, so let's go to the solar plexus.
The solar plexus is located right above the sacral. It is considered the center of dynamism, energy, willpower, and achievement, which radiates prana throughout the entire human body. It is associated with the power of fire and digestion, as well as the sense of sight and the emotional and the action of movement. It is the center of etheric psychic intuition, a vague or non-specific sensual sense of knowing. Key issues involved with the solar plexus are personal power, fear, anxiety, opinion formation, introversion, and transition from simple or base emotions to complex. Physically, it governs digestion. Mentally, it governs personal power. Emotionally, it governs expansiveness. And spiritually, all matters of growth. When off balance, you may experience anxiety, confusion, low self-esteem, insecurity, or lack of personal power.
All right, so the solar plexus, it was at one point where I wasn't going to the bathroom. Like, nothing was coming down. Like, remember I was telling you when I was talking about the root chakra that I felt it there, but it just felt like something was blocking it. Like, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I would have to push and push and push for it to come out. But when your solar plexus, like I said in the intro, is your digestive system, is your gut, right? And it was at one point where I couldn't, my stomach was sticking out. Like, I was skinny as a mug, legs skinny, everything skinny, because I couldn't eat because of what was going on in my stomach. And because of what I felt in my stomach, it felt like something was in my stomach, and shit was just being like stuck there. So when you eat food, it goes down your esophagus into the stomach, and it would just feel like something was stuck there in your stomach. And the solar plexus is the stomach and the intestines. Again, yeah, it felt like a knot. It felt like a knot, and I couldn't eat much. Couldn't eat much of nothing, or I would feel extremely overstuffed. I would feel full really, really quickly. It was wild. And then, but the solar plexus mentally is linked to your confidence. So I had a lot of insecurities and a lot of anxiety about doing a lot of things, to the point where I didn't want to do nothing. To the point where I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to, none of that, right? I didn't want to do nothing. I was insecure about singing. I was insecure about all of that, like just anything, any old thing. Being around people, I was insecure about even being myself. Like, and people be able to notice, and they didn't want to be around me because it was like, bruh, she too shy, bro. Like, and I'm like, damn, I don't want to be shy. Like, I'm not shy. I'm not that. I mean, I'm when I feel comfortable with you, then I can be myself. But I wasn't comfortable with nobody. I felt anxious with everybody. I felt insecure with everybody. Insecure about my art, about my music, about my singing, about anything. I just was insecure and had a lot of anxiety. So that was what I felt with the solar plexus. Let's go to the heart chakra.
The heart chakra is located in the chest. It is related to the thymus. The thymus is an element of the immune system, as well as being part of the endocrine system. It is the site of maturation of the T cells, responsible for fending off disease and may be adversely affected by stress. It corresponds to the color green. Key issues involving the heart chakra are complex emotions, compassion, tenderness, unconditional love, equilibrium, rejection, and well-being. Physically, it governs unconditional love for the self and others. Mentally, it governs passion. And spiritually, it governs devotion. It is also linked to the respiratory system. When off balance, you may experience hypertension, respiratory problems, tight chest, cardiovascular problems, withdrawn or antisocial, lack of empathy, overextending yourself to help others to your own personal detriment. That, I felt that.
So the heart chakra, I was just closed off. I was closed off from love. I was closed off from just getting close, like getting close to anybody, you know what I mean? Like I just blocked love out. I blocked all of it out. Because I had a blockage, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a blockage. And physically what I felt was so that's your respiratory. So I had trouble breathing. Like I couldn't take deep breaths, and walking, or like I said, when I was at the water park with Taj, like running up them stairs to get on them slides, like I felt like I wasn't getting enough breath. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I just felt like I wasn't getting enough breath. Like I had to take deep breaths, like consciously take deep breaths so that I wouldn't feel like, you know how when you underwater and you holding your breath and your heart starts to beat, you feel your heart start to beat, and then you have to finally come up and take a breath. That's how I felt all the time. Like, or when I would exercise, and when I was exercising and just doing anything active, you know what I mean? When anything that gets your heart rate up. Alright, so that was what I felt with the heart chakra. The throat chakra.
The throat chakra is located on the spine in the throat area. It is associated with our ability to communicate, our creativity, right brain activities, speech, and hearing. Physically, it is linked to the throat, vocal cords, mouth, teeth, esophagus, thyroid glands, and the respiratory system. When unbalanced, it will cause communication problems, the inability to express your feelings and ideas. This chakra is parallel to the thyroid, a gland that is also in the throat and which produces thyroid hormone responsible for growth and maturation. Physically, it governs communication. Emotionally, it governs independence. Mentally, it governs fluent thought. And spiritually, it governs a sense of security.
Felt like it was a knot in my throat. Like it felt hard to swallow. Food wouldn't go down. It just felt like a knot in my throat. Food wouldn't go down. And then when I would try to sing, I would feel like it would feel stuffed. I would feel like I was congested, like in my throat. Like when I would try to sing with my full voice, I would feel like something was stuck there, and then it made my voice pitchy and crackly and not smooth. You know what I mean? So, and I would have anxiety about speaking. I was stuttering a lot. Like y'all see now, like I'm still clearing my throat chakra where I say a lot. I was saying a lot. Wasn't sure about what I had to think. Had to think about what I said consciously. Think about what I'm saying and say it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of anxiety to talk. A lot of anxiety to thinking that people, you know, like when you have anxiety, it's just a whole bunch of negative thoughts to make you embarrassed, make you feel embarrassed. Like, oh, what if they say this? What if they, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of, like, so I had social anxiety, like trying to, like, talking to people and conversing with people. So I stayed away from people. You know what I mean? What else did I experience with my throat chakra? Hard to swallow. It made my voice sound crackly. You know. So yeah, I think that was it. I think that's it. And it gave me mentally it gave me a lot of anxiety to be able to talk and express myself and be who I am, and you know, and say things to people. So yeah, to express my truth. It made me afraid and anxious to express my truth. Alright, so now we're gonna go to the third eye chakra.
The third eye chakra is linked to the pineal gland and form a model of its envisioning. The pineal gland is a light-sensitive gland that produces the hormone melatonin, which regulates sleep and waking up, and is also postulated to be the production site of the psychedelic DMT, the only known hallucinogen endogenous to the human body. The throat chakra's key issues involve balancing the higher and lower selves and trusting inner guidance. The inner aspect relates to the access of intuition. Mentally, it deals with visual consciousness. Emotionally, it deals with the clarity on an intuitive level, and it corresponds with the color indigo. When off balance, you may experience you may be unimaginative, scattered, difficulty concentrating, lack of intuition, closed-minded, and indecisive.
So the third eye chakra is the pineal gland. It's the all-seeing eye. So it's a literal eye, but it's on the inside. It's how you're able to fantasize and daydream. Okay, so I remember growing up when I was a child, like I used to be able to daydream very vividly to the point where I felt like I was there, where it was actually real. And then once I started experiencing these blockages, because these hoes be hating, and I started having those blockages and those entities, I used to see, like when I would try to envision and try to fantasize during that time, I would see like so if I was trying to envision myself in a car, I would feel, just riding and listening to music, I would always feel like something else trying to force a car crash. And it's like, nah, I don't want the car to crash. Like, no, it was like something else was in control of my vision. You know what I mean? Like I felt the separate force trying to force me to think negative, like to have negative thoughts, but it wasn't me. So remember I told y'all, when things are uncontrollable, when you feel like you don't have no control, because you should be able to control everything about you. So when you can't even control a thought or a vision, and something you feel like it's something else forcing that there, like I'm gonna use an example of PTSD. PTSD, when people experience certain traumatic things, people, like doctors are saying that, it's just your brain trying to process trauma. But just through my own experience and the things that I went through and things that I've done to heal myself, proves to me that that's not your brain. Your brain is not just, you control your brain, you control your thoughts. So when you doing something and out of nowhere a thought of you being back in war, you know what I'm saying, because that's the one that they use a lot, being in war, and you experience something, you and that thought just come up and in your head, and you can't control it, and you feel like you there, and you know what I'm saying, that is not you. Your consciousness, you control the avatar. When you feel like you're not in control of your own thoughts, that is something else. So that is entity attachment blockages in your pineal gland. That is not in your third eye chakra. That is not your brain doing that on its own. You command the brain to do what it does, not the other way around. All right, so boom. Last one, crown.
The crown chakra is generally considered to be the state of pure consciousness. Its role may be envisioned somewhat similarly to that of the pituitary gland, which secretes hormones to communicate to the rest of the endocrine system and also connects to the central nervous system via the hypothalamus. The thalamus is thought to have a key role in the physical basis of consciousness. The inner aspect deals with the release of karma, Physical action with meditation, mental action with universal consciousness and unity or oneness, emotional action with beingness. When off balance, you may experience loss of faith, confusion, spiritually disconnected, uninspired, indecisive, feeling incomplete, can't find meaning, lack of spark, joyless, excessive daydreaming, all in your head, and clouded judgment.
Alright, so the crown, just like I said in the intro, is considered to be like pure consciousness, or your pure awareness, your judgment. You know what I'm saying? Your judgment of it. And what I felt when I was experiencing blockages in the crown chakra was my judgment was clouded. So I can only speak from my own experiences. So I was sent entities to block through energy manipulation or black magic, whatever you want to call it, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it. I was sent entities to block, to block that crown chakra. So what I experienced was cloudy judgment. Like I was doing things that I knew, like I was like doing things that I knew like better. I knew better, but like something in my mind was like, do this, do this. And I would do it, and then I'm like, dang, why did I do that? I knew, you know what I'm saying? So it'll have you like an imbalanced crown chakra will have you like all in your head, like all in your mind, and you wouldn't confuse. You don't know what is what. You can't tell salt from sugar. Like, literally have clouded judgment. Your consciousness is clouded. You know what I'm saying? Your awareness of things is clouded. I would also experience headaches, like bad headaches, migraines, you know what I mean, things like that. And I didn't know what it was. And then when I learned about the chakras and blockages, and then how to heal them and things like that, that's what happened. And it got better. I felt like something was easing up off of me, like literally peeling off of my head. Literally, that's what I felt when I started to use these. Y'all know I told y'all in several videos of my previous videos that I use frequencies to heal all of this. And so that's what I experienced with my crown chakra. That one wasn't too long. It's just clouded judgment. All right, so I want to just conclude this video with the fact that I know a lot of people. It's some people that are like wondering why I don't post much, why I don't show off my talents more and things like that on social media, because I could be going viral, blah blah blah. I wanted more than anything I'm about to start now, but I wanted more than anything to do covers and to do things and to display my talents and things like that. But it was like my creativity was blocked. You know what I mean? My throat was blocked. And like I said, the reason why I know that a lot of these things were blockages from energetic blockages or entity blockages from black magic was because I went to the doctor. I remember going to the doctor about my throat. I'm like, Dr. So-and-so, it feel like something is stuck in my throat. He looked down there, he did x-rays, and they did a lot of stuff, and he was like, there's nothing there, there's nothing stuck in your throat. I'm like, but doctor, what am I feeling? Like, why do I feel like it's hard to swallow? Why do I feel like my throat is swollen? He was like, no, it's not swollen, it's not nothing, you're good. Like, and then I just had to just accept that while still feeling like I had a knot in my throat. So it was hard for me to sing. I wanted more than anything to make videos and to do covers, but I felt a discomfort. You know what I mean? Trying to sing. Same thing with you know, when you sing, you gotta sing from your diaphragm, which is your core, your gut, the abdomen. You know what I mean? And I felt like there was a knot there. So, you know what I mean? Like, it was just, I just felt bloated and congested. So in here, I felt congested. But taking pills and stuff like that didn't work. The only thing that worked was when I started doing these frequencies. So the frequency that really, I know I said Arcturian is the one that helped me, that got the job done. But one that was really, it's two that was two more that was really effective. Return to Sender was the most effective. So Return to Sender is a frequency called Return to Sender. Return unwanted spells, unwanted curses, unwanted hex to sender. And when I would play that, I would literally feel like all of my chakras, like I would feel all of them, like stuff started moving around, like you know, because like I said, in the lower chakras I felt bloated. In the root chakra, I would literally feel like stuff come from up out of my feet and out of my calves. Like I would literally feel something lifting or peeling off of my legs, or peeling off of my vagina area, my pelvic area. I would literally feel stuff lift and peel off of me. So I was like, and it's I don't know how else to explain it, but that's what it felt like. It felt like stuff literally peeling off of me. And now I don't have any of those issues anymore. Like the knots that I was, the bloatedness and the knots and the blockages that I was feeling have gone away just from playing those Return to Senders, along with playing, you know, Sacral Chakra frequencies and sound bowls and or singing bowls, whatever they call it. I use all of those things. Sound healing and frequency worked for the best for me, but the Return to Sender was the most effective. Then there was one called Spirit Attachment Removal, which helped a whole lot, and then Arcturian sound healing helped a whole lot as well. Okay, so if y'all are interested in those frequencies, just to see what's wrong with you, to see if those are the reasons why you have blockages. Because some people's blockages come from trauma, you know, and indoctrination and bad diets and things like that. But if you feel like this, if all of that doesn't work, because like I said, I went to the doctor for all of my issues. None of the pills, none of the stuff that they gave me worked. I talked to psychologists. None of what they told me, because everything that they tell you is from like it's trauma related, but I had no trauma. When I was having those suicidal thoughts, I played, and it was only for one day. It was only for one day where I felt that. Never felt it again. Soon as I played that Return to Sender, never felt it again. And the person who I suspected sent that to me, that person didn't die, but somebody close to them died. So you never know, like the God, the universe, Jah, Allah, you know, spirit, Buddha, whoever, whatever you call it, works in mysterious ways. Okay, works in mysterious ways. All right, and that's all I have for you guys, and y'all have a good one.